So we'll
that.
probably get like 20 views on this.
Anthony,
is this live?
Anthony,
No,
hits
this is
the
just for
There you go.
YouTube or whatever we post.
I don't wanna
I'll
be
post
in
on
it.
the
I
group.
need a water. We'll do this.
You want water?
Just a regular beer.
Okay.
Beer? Blue
Did
Moon?
you do your shot? Black 17. That's the one you
You
rolled.
gave me a 33.
No, Black 17.
Does anyone else need a
This
beer? Well, I'm
motherfucker.
not.
Fucking own up to it.
I think that's.
I won't spin because I ain't gonna own up to
I
shit.
think that's turkey.
Yeah. Turkey.
All right. So we had some questions on Instagram, and so we're gonna go through them. So to go around the table, it's Julie. For those of you that don't know, you probably already know her. This is on my channel. So
Never.
we got Kyle, KBB Detailing. We've got Anthony, Slowcat ST. Me. We got Alex, Alex Devil Dog _SY50 on Instagram.
Jada.
Yeah.
Fucking that up.
Fucking.
Come on, man. You can't get my name right.
Sorry, we're a few drinks in, so we're a little late on this video.
Terrible.
And we got Steve, LTH Steve, VP of Marketing at Long Tube Headers,
LTH exhaust.
LTH Exhaust. So if you kind of want to go into kind of what you do every day, what your role is, and kind of how you got started with CPE, because most everybody probably knows Steve with UPR. So you can go ahead and start.
Well, pretty much, just I got offered an opportunity, I took it, and now I'm in South Carolina working for LTH, pretty much running the whole exhaust side of the company. Pretty much everything they do is 05 through 19 Mustang, and I'm just bringing them to the current state of between social media, branding, marketing, things like that. The company's been around for probably about 4 to 5 years. Started as private label. Contract went south. They decided to keep it as their own company under CPE's, Custom Performance Engineering, which most people know about. And that's why they brought me on, to actually get it in people's faces. So that's why I spent the last 6 months just letting everyone know the company exists. Long Tube Headers is the name of the company, the full-on. But LTH Exhaust is the nickname, easier for search function that we're using for everyone, so they actually know the difference. Instead of saying, I have a set of Long Tube Headers, it's just I have LTH Exhaust headers on my car.
So a lot of people are probably wondering, typically with headers, there's a lot of companies out there that do make headers. What makes you guys, I guess, stand out, more appealing? When if someone is like watching this video and saying, all right, I want to order a set of headers, what makes you guys kind of like the top of
There's two things I like to really touch base on. One is the fitment. The way we design them and they cut the piping, it hugs the frame, so there's no movement. There's a well around the motor mounts. There's no hitting. It's just designed to come down and go straight up back into a true long tube header. It's actually considered the longest one in the market. And the reason we can say that is our X pipes are actually the shortest. Yeah, dog's agreeing with me. With that said, we have a Venturi style collector, which everyone knows a collector is where the horsepower is. So we have that come out, staying up towards the frame like I just said. So you're going to get a unique sound based on how we design the flow and the max horsepower with a shorter flow tube or X5 depending on the area of your car. We also use what we call our Titan finish, which is not a coating.
Yeah.
It's coating that companies use, which is great. It keeps the heat in, so you're not getting into spitting and causing higher temperatures. The problem is that coating eats up welds, so they actually don't last. The Titan finish machine, what it does to the exhaust, it pretty much reinforces the 304 stainless steel that we use. Cleans up the welds, cleans up the pipe, makes it smoother flowing, and actually makes it last as long as like an OEM quality. So the point of our exhaust is to last as long as the car, not as long as you just own it.
Yeah, gotcha.
So
some of the coatings, I remember, I think the popular one when I had coated headers, it was like Jet Hot.
Jet Hot is kind of like ceramic coating. It's going to keep the heat in.
Yeah.
It looks nice, but the problem is it eats up welds.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people don't realize, that it will over time destroy.
So we had a couple questions that came in through Instagram. I'm sorry I don't have the names of the folks that added the questions, just because the way Instagram works, it deletes the post after.
Terrible.
So yeah, I was terrible with that. So
Screenshot that bitch.
I know I should have. So this question: who are you? Who are your top 3 builds right now on social media?
Top 3 builds is going to be John Nairn,
Okay.
who's got the Formula D Drift Shelby car.
Yeah.
Joanna, that 1320 chick, she's doing a lot of drag racing with it. And those are my 2 top people.
Okay.
I know it's at 3, but those are my top tier people
Yeah.
I care about the most that are actually doing a lot of things.
Well, I know from what I've been reading, Joanna's dad is really having a drag racing, right?
Well, Lydio, he's been around for the racing. If
Yeah.
you actually know about drag racing,
Yeah.
Lydio is drag racing. Everyone
Yeah.
knows the guy. Phenomenal dude. Has his own shop. Joanna's his daughter.
Yeah.
So they've been helping tune the car, everything. Her husband has been helping with the car too, Brian. And they've got that thing dialed in perfectly. I came on board with her early in this year just to want to be on board to help with her. Get this build to her go-to because I know what she could do with that car. And I think today she just set her new personal best, which is like a 950.
Mhm.
So
What did she trap?
I think it was one.
Probably 140, 144.
I actually got it right here. Give me 2 seconds.
That's a A10 Gen 3 Coyote with a Gen 5 Whipple.
Yeah.
She won a 959 at 150.6.
Damn,
Awesome. Low balling.
So on a street car, this
Yeah.
is a fully
That's
driven street car, and it
That's
sounds
awesome.
quiet. She's got her active exhaust, and it's just I love the way that car sounds with my headers.
So you've been into drag racing for a while, though, right?
Yeah, I've been for over 10 years.
Yeah. So, what teams have you worked on, and like what have you been involved with, with drag racing?
I started with Des Racing up in Massachusetts, which they do a lot more X275. That's where I really got my passion from. That side of racing. In Florida, I worked with a lot of locals. My friend Dave Carpenter, he's got a single turbo Coyote Fox body. Florida street cars, we call them, which go with 750s.
Yeah.
I helped with him, was on his team for the longest time before I moved up to South Carolina. James Akins is another guy I work with, Travis Atkins is another guy I work with. Or a lot of times with a lot of racers from the Tampa area that would go to the track and I'm local, they hit me up to come give me a hand if they could.
James, that's Angie's husband.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. All right. Good deal. You had a turbo 3 valve at one point, didn't you?
Yeah, I had 05 with the precision turbo and a Hellion kit.
Yeah.
Fully built, made like 713 on pump gas.
On a fully built 3 valve.
Yeah, this was like I threw the freaking kitchen sink at this 3 valve to like 700 horsepower.
What trains did you run?
Stock.
The stock Tremec or whatever
Yep,
that came
3650.
in. Yeah.
So
Damn, that's awesome. So I know this question came in. What are your biggest pet peeves in the Mustang community right now?
That's a huge question.
I know
it's so open that I
Be
can't
prepared
say-
for a 2-hour-long
You
video.
know, like, if you watch my Instagram and live
Yeah.
stories, I've got on some rants about shit. But if I had to sum it up as my stories are shorter than your long story shorts.
That's for another story.
Yeah.
I
Another
hate
video.
I hate people that abuse the system. In the Marine Corps, we call them 10%. That will do whatever they can to better themselves and fuck the guy next to them.
Yeah.
Excuse my language if you don't like swearing.
No, it's-
They will literally do whatever it takes to get famous, and they will screw anybody over.
yeah.
And they have
It's just
All right. So where we were on the video was your biggest pet peeves in the Mustang community.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I kind of started off saying we have a little bit more alcohol in this, so this is gonna be kind of fun.
it's gonna be great.
Um,
Oh man. Oh man.
I hate like I said before, in the Marine Corps we have what's called 10%, which is that is the delinquents, the assholes, people that get in trouble. I see that in this industry, that they will do whatever it takes to make themselves feel better, screw over the next person, all in the name of getting a free part or getting fame.
So this is what I don't understand. How on Instagram or any social media, YouTube, whatever, like screwing over the next guy, like, are you just bad mouthing the next guy?
No,
Or,
it's
like, how does that even work?
It's good people coming with a good idea, and the bad people coming trying to do the same idea and screwing it over for everyone.
What they'll do, and I saw this in my last job, a lot more, not so much than the new job because it's still new, is people copy others. If one
Sure.
person has a good idea and they see it, the next 600 people behind it see
Yeah.
that, copy it, do the same thing,
Yeah.
but they're just doing it because they're so desperate to get Insta fame,
Sure.
e-fame, or that free part, and they will literally sell their soul to get it. And they'll say whatever it takes, and then once they get it, they got it.
They ghost.
Yeah, they disappeared, and then 6 months later, that part's for sale because they're on to the next thing.
Yeah.
And what it does is it leaves bad taste in the company's mouth, and
So do you mean, are they like company hopping? Like,
yes,
okay.
that's probably the best. That's the best analogy I've ever heard.
All they're doing is taking what they said the first time and changing the company name.
Like I've literally gotten emails that guys have cut and copied to different exhaust companies,
Copy paste.
and they'll forget to remove the other company's name out of the mid-paragraph.
Yeah.
Because they're so desperate, they don't care who you are, they just want the part.
But
I
I would
saw it at
think,
Robos all the time.
but I would think by now that companies are so attuned
We
to
are.
getting those types of requests. It's like we've already seen this.
And that's why it makes people like myself and everybody, we don't even want to bother trying to get like a partial sponsorship
Yeah.
or anything like that because they see so much of it. Like me with BC Forge, like I felt so uncomfortable writing out an email to BC Forge about getting a partial sponsorship with them because I know that I'm not looking for free.
Yeah.
I'm just looking to see what you can do.
Yeah.
If you can't do anything, then cool, I still consider your wheels.
On the same token, what do you, because I've seen this for a long time now, like I'm talking about like early 2000s, I've seen it. Companies will extend along sponsorships to people, and it's a standard discount that they would normally give, but they require people to put decals all over the car over a standard type
BC
of-
Forge does that.
We
but-
do that with companies. We require stickers if you run the LTH exhaust.
Okay.
And we require, like, there's actually a terms and agreement you have to sign with my company.
Yeah.
And a lot of other companies do that too.
Yeah.
Where it's you need to have decals, you need to post about us, you
Mhm.
need to attend events. And if you actually give us a proposal that's legit for us to contact you, and you have A, B, C, D, and all the way up to freaking F events, you better be going to every single one of those. And if you don't, you just voided your contract.
Yeah. I know Adams is like that.
Adams
too.
is the same way.
Yeah.
And BC was the same way, but on the flip side, a crappy person is gonna see that I need to run a couple stickers and go to all these shows and represent and take photos. But then once they get the wheels, I mean, if you're not signing anything,
With exhaust,
But as a good person, as a good person buying their product and whatnot, spending money with them, like I don't like decals on my car, but I have BC Forge decals on my car, and I'm gonna put some more and/or run their license plate frame, even though I don't want to, to cover up my Purple Heart plate. But it's still the fact that they took money off of their product for me.
Yeah.
You're pretty
And
much
I'm a good person.
You're an employee without getting a paycheck.
And you represent that company.
Yeah, you are now like the whole brand ambassador. I hate that term because it's so overplayed. Like I get the point of it.
Sponsorship
I understand
is
it.
overplayed.
Sponsorship is
It's
just.
better than sponsorship. I like the ambassador. Or
I like
partner.
ambassador
I like
better.
partner.
I like
It's like
partnering. I
partner.
like working with. I like helping out. Like I like actually something you can relate to. Like
Yeah,
brand
you see
ambassador, like to me is okay. So that company gave you a discount code, but
Right.
you're really not an ambassador. You're just making that company money.
Right.
Yeah, but if you're not, if you're getting something in return, then
if you're getting some return, like a kickback, you might as well fill out a W-4.
well, with Adams polishes, like I don't know how you are, but I get gift cards. Free
Yeah.
gift
So
cards.
they so they give you entitle not entitlement.
So then I
but
can
they
use
give
that gift. I can use X amount of dollars for that gift card, and I can buy
you, and
whatever I want.
but you're still spending money with the company. So they're giving you a discount on the part.
Yeah, usually.
Choose those
So, like,
things.
let's say, for example, they give you anywhere between 150 to like maybe 400.
Yeah.
Typically, when you go in and you purchase, like with Adams, and you want to use a gift card or something with a sponsorship deal, I'll end up spending more on top of.
That's how they get you. They're not literally losing money.
It's not a ton more. Like I'm not spending.
If it's 150, I might spend 175.
Yeah.
So
so
then
then
I'm
$25 out of your pocket.
I'm paying $25, but I'm getting $180.
But on the same token, is you can ask. It changes often. So like now we work with Courtney. You can ask Courtney how much your discount code revenues. So like
Yeah, I
one
asked
month,
mine
my
recently.
discount code got like $5,500 in revenue for the company. So you can ask; they give you that information.
They'll let you know.
There's something like we don't
Which is
do
cool.
that. We don't do that. We're not big enough to do that. Two, I have no interest in doing that.
But I would think though, with like exhaust though, like it's not like an $11 bottle of wheel cleaner.
So
I'm looking at $300 to
Yeah.
$1,300.
Yeah.
When I tell my friends that are in the Mustang game or in the car game and they want to get sponsors, they want to be sponsored
That
by
was one of the
somebody.
questions that came up.
My thing is, if you're gonna get a sponsor, and I put in quotes, sponsor, an agreement, a hookup,
Sponsor.
whatever it may be, you want to get a sponsorship or a hookup or like I said, whatever it may be, with something that you run out of, i.e., detailing, tires, brake pads, oil. Like, don't get a sponsorship, and I'm just throwing your company out because you're right here. If you get a sponsorship with, long tube headers, and I get a set of headers, that's it.
That's the
It's
end.
not like you offer any like detailing.
Well, that was one of the questions. So, like, one of the questions was a lot of people have a misconception about how to obtain sponsorships, and I kind of reworded this one a little bit. As a marketing VP, what would you recommend to people, I guess new kids that are coming out on the scene, that are just getting started in the cars and just the overall everything, the do's and don'ts of trying to obtain a sponsorship, and kind of see, for me,
I can answer that because
Okay.
I get asked that so much with working with exhaust now. In my Instagram videos, I've been asked 100 times. I've explained 100 times, and Joanna 1320 chick, she's been on my videos and she's explained it because she's worked so much. I've actually had Josh Baker on, Josh Hubble on.
Great names.
Yeah, like a bunch of people that actually real legit sponsors that actually work their asses off. Like, what did you do to get this point? And I don't even sponsor them. What did you do? Because I want people to know. And to start off with the don'ts is do not message a company on Instagram, Facebook.
Email or call.
Like, just don't say, what do I need to get sponsored, brah?
yeah.
Don't just send them a message.
Brah.
Don't be like,
Social
what?
media is not
No, like,
It's not.
formal. It's not formal.
it's not. Like, I see a message, it's an instant delete.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are.
I'm gonna go
It's
message
not formal to it. It's not. But most of the time, as soon as we do that, we'll click on your name. You get 16 followers.
I have noticed that. So
Yeah.
like, and I mean, the thing is, it's technically the follower count doesn't really mean as much. Like, if you're at every fucking event, like, and people do kind of know your names, you're out there.
But it could also be
Anyways.
a total different situation. With
No.
CJ Pony Parts, I literally asked Bill about nitrous kits. He didn't follow me on Instagram. He had no idea about that.
But you didn't go to him asking for.
No, I
That
literally.
is a sponsorship. That is a proposal.
That's it. That's good. Like with me.
That is
okay.
the
So yeah,
BC
you got
Forge.
photos.
Yeah.
See,
Look
that's
how long that is, though.
That's the
longer
thing.
than
And
my
none of that
resume.
is
A
bullshit.
proposal. That's what it is. A proposal to
Right.
a company is a resume. You are selling yourself
But
to a company for that
and
part.
that's the thing. So literally, I was asking Bill. We were talking about. Me and George talked about how we were going to build my car when I got my GT. I'm like, you know what? I would like to go the boost route, but let's do something different. We'll do NA with a little nitrous. So I started looking at CJ's because that's my go-to, and I messaged Bill. I'm like, hey, what are your opinions on these kits? I've been looking at this and this. We talked for a couple of hours through Messenger, just about kits. What would I need? And I said, all right, are you guys having any sales on them? Because I had no idea about nitrous. He's ran some nitrous, but I wanted to get Bill's opinion on nitrous on a Coyote. It was literally just write me a proposal, and I have the message still. I'm like, what? Like, he's like, you know what it is, right?
Yeah,
I'm like,
the proposal.
yeah, but I'm asking you about nitrous, and that
Yeah.
There's a big difference in everything you just did. You actually asked me questions. Like if you send me a message and ask me questions, I will respond to you as soon as I can, and I'll talk to you. And if I spend 3 to 4 hours throughout the day talking to you, I'm cool with that because one, I'm educating, one, I'm talking to you,
right.
and I'm building rapport with you. And that's companies like that to an extent. I mean, there's a point where if you start asking me for, hey, what part number should I get? That you're just gonna take that part number, go somewhere else, find it cheaper.
I think companies like, I'm using BC Force. That's my last big thing. I didn't go there asking for one set of wheels.
Yeah.
Right.
I went there saying, hey, I've looked at this set, and this set. That shows to the person you're talking to that you've looked into all their products.
Yeah.
That is
that was the
That's
key
the same
thing
with
right there.
Belgium, like-
Looking
Yeah.
into the product.
You looked into, hey, I've been
Yeah.
looking at your products. I think that this wheel would look good. I noticed that you have this different style of lips. I've noticed that you have this different set of profiles, offset sizes, colors. That you've done your research. A company wants to see that. A company doesn't want to see you going, I want these wheels, or I want this.
Yeah.
They don't want to see that. They want to see that you've looked into their company as well and thought about it. They want thought.
And then they get pissed off at you when you don't want to get back to them.
The thing is, like, I think a lot of guys that are like wanting to get into sponsorships, they don't understand that, like, the guys that within marketing that do deal with it have already been approached thousands of times on over.
There's nothing that we haven't seen.
Yeah.
And I can talk, and what's funny about that too is, as big as this industry is in different brands, every single one of us talk to each other. Yeah. I talk to competing exhaust companies, I talk to wheel companies, I talk to suspension companies, I talk to...
That's because people can be friends.
Yes. Like
outside of companies.
Like a good friend of mine, and I'll say like Sean, he works for Corsa, and him and I can shoot the shit anytime we want to, and nothing come between. If we're in person, we'll get a beer.
Yeah.
When I was working at UPR, if I was hanging out with Scott Boda or Kelly from DMR, we can hang out. Like, we're good people. Like, we might shoot the shit or argue in line or just go back and forth. At the end of the day, we're gonna sit here and cheers and have a beer. A lot of people don't realize that about it. And we'll talk to each other. Yeah. It's like, this guy just approached me, be careful of him. Or, hey, this guy approached me, I can't help him. I think
I got his email too. Oh, really? Okay.
I've heard the same about tuners. Most of them talk to each other. Like, I'm obviously big in the Fiesta, Focus, RS, everything like that community. Most of the tuners talk to each other about customers, their tunes.
Tell each other to be careful with one guy.
And, you know, and exactly, and what to look for, what not to look for, and it's a definite thing to.
Plus, like, the other thing is that I've seen is there's not. I don't think there's anything free in my car. Everything has always everything's either been discounted or I've just paid outright. Because if you can't pay for it, then you shouldn't even be asking for it or inquiring.
And I'm actually going to counter at that one, saying, even if a company gives you a part, we'll say whatever, body parts. Okay, so you get a hood. Okay,
you need to work for it.
You're working your ass off for the hood, and now you're traveling to events. I'll bring up Josh Baker again, because him and Josh Shovel are probably the best two analogies because they're everywhere.
Yeah.
And they work with Cervinis. Okay, they're sponsored
by a hard company,
and that's hard, very freaking hard, and they're traveling. Baker did a video on his whole map for car riding to get his car finished. That Hubble literally tows his car like a 55-year show. He towed his car to 55-year show, dropped it at Vortec, and drove home to Virginia. Yep. And then came back a few days later. Like, so you're paying for that part. It's not companies just giving you a part, take care of yourself so long, tag us a few times before you get sick of it and you want the next best thing. Because that's what a lot of it is. And I see it with exhaust, I see it with wheels, probably the most. Is people flip because they either get bored with it and they want the next best thing. And they will sell their soul to get it.
Or the other thing is, and a lot of people, the other spectrum of it is people try to get sponsorship with companies that are not going to sponsor you. It doesn't matter. Rotiform, Toyo,
Mickey.
Whipple, companies like that, if they don't have a booth at SEMA, they don't need you.
Yeah. Well, example is, I'm going to say Mickey Thompson alone, and I'm going to use them, is Mickey makes some of the baddest radials on the market, and there's a lot of fast guys out there, and there's some even faster guys that run in the 3 seconds on Mickey's. So the average Joe, like one of us, that says, hey, I got a car that's famous, like it's actually you travel and everything, Mickey's still going to look at you and be like, okay, and my tire is so demanded, I don't need you. And it's not because they're being an asshole, it's because they really don't need you.
Well, when I went to SEMA in 16 or 17, one of the years I ran into some of the Whipple guys, and I said, why don't you have a booth? He was like, look around. The Copo Camaro at the Chevy booth has a Whipple on it.
Magnuson now.
But at the time. Really? But all the cars, all these show cars, all these SEMA booth cars that are inside all had Whipples. He was like, we don't need to spend the money for a Whipple booth. Then, it dawned on me that, like I said, Whipple, Rotiform, Toyo, they're not going to sponsor the average guy like myself or you or whoever. It doesn't matter how many followers you have. They don't need it. They don't need to give either one of us free products.
But then on the opposite side of the spectrum, you have
companies that
everyone's sponsored.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nishimoto being one of them.
Backup
I have a
cameras,
See,
forward
that's the thing. Is
cameras,
you had
side
a
view
Mishimoto
cameras.
coolant expansion tank that failed. I've had no issues out of mine. I've had mine since 15.
I was fine
really
with
hate
the-
to put them
And
on
mine
the
wasn't
bus.
sponsored. I paid.
I really hate to throw them on the bus, but I can send you the link in Alibaba to where they go.
Oh, I know. Their side tube is aquarium tubing, and I don't
But
really care. It's
Yeah,
just
so
like,
it's his
Mishimoto
wife's cars
was
failed, too.
sponsoring cars that were like a Grand Prix or
But
a
let's
Grand
let's
Am, like
let's do one even
everyone.
better. That I don't think you have the seats anymore. But Brom,
They got out.
I got the second. From
I
someone
never-
else. I never went.
I looked at them and I think I sat in Josh Hubble's at Mustang Week. So I wanted a color that they had, and I was like, these are not worth getting rid of. What about your product that you just gave me?
I'm gonna call it Braum based on that, just because one, I don't like them.
I have
two,
no issues with Brom. Never had them.
I'm just gonna call it for what they've done.
I just know.
Is I
And
know
that
I have the
safety rating.
link to where they bought them from an Alibaba, and
Oh,
Alibaba is, for people who don't know, Alibaba is the Costco for companies to mass produce parts in China.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't buy one. You need to buy 500 to get those seats.
Yeah.
Those seats are $20-$30
Yeah.
per seat
Yeah.
at 500 sets. So what they were doing to get their name out there is they were bringing them in, ironing their name on or stamping their name on the seats, and telling people, "Hey, I'm going to sponsor you.
Yeah.
These seats are $900. I'm going to sell them to you for $400."
Yeah.
So these younger kids are going to be like, "Oh my God, I'm getting $1,000 seats
And
for
they look
$400. And they look cool.
They look good. They
And
have cool colors.
they-
I got sold on it myself.
I got them
So I
second.
sat in them.
I got them secondhand, and for me, I was used to the stock seats sitting high, and I was like, all right, I'm in a lower seating position. They were okay. I had them for like a year and a half.
But again, you're a lot taller than most of us here.
Yeah.
I'd be like midget seeing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
it was
was-
terrible driving his car with the cow
But
hood.
when I started noticing on like Anything Coyote or some of these groups, like some guy posted that his back snapped off.
Yep.
And
There's multiple people.
And that's the problem with us being more into track
I
road
was like,
racing. They are
I've
not
heard
you're
FIA.
moving
Twice, and my Recaros have saved me twice.
yeah.
The first one was black ice. I didn't have a choice.
I remember I saw it happen one time. And I was like, well, any mass-produced car can fail once. And then I saw it like a second or third time, and I was like, oh,
It was
I need
trickling
to,
down after that.
I need to start looking
A
at
good
the,
seat can save you. A
Yeah.
good seat can save you all day.
That's why I
Corvo,
eventually switched to
Corvo.
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 Corvo, Recaro.
Yeah.
Sparko.
Recaros, that was the best option I did on my Mustang.
I mean, I love the Recaros in my Fiesta. They are the greatest thing ever.
I refuse to have
Shop
any
WRX 19's
sports
got
car
them.
without
Yes.
the harvest.
The new one you just bought?
Yeah.
Nice.
But I'm saying it's like, and what's funny is that company, if you actually looked up their address, it was a UPS store in California.
Really?
So they got outs, and I don't mean to sit here and talk shit about other companies, but they were outs pretty freaking hard.
But like she said though, there's companies on the flip side that are mass messaging on people on Instagram, and they want to give
Like
you a free
Carlock.
product.
Carlock was a big
Carlock,
one.
oh my god.
Or those
And I'm
door
like, I
fucking
don't want
thing
no
bodies
one-
that hold your door
The
open.
door jam or
Oh, the little-
jam
But
handles.
but that's the thing though. Every person that was trying so hard to become Insta famous, they had the same
Hop on,
sponsor.
because it's a sponsor.
It
It's
is
free.
sponsored.
Limitless
I'm the
car
sponsor. Limitless car care.
and they
God.
everyone's in
devotees.
it, and they really thought they
I
were
don't even
important.
know.
And it sucks because they think they're important. They're working with these fly by night companies that are like no one really cares about. Because if you send me a sponsorship and you say you're sponsored by them, okay, you and 6 billion other people on Instagram. And now that you can buy followers on Instagram and YouTube, you can buy followers. I have
But
links
you
on
can,
my phone.
but you can see through that though. Like when the guys with like 120K,
Yes and no, because of algorithms, it's changing.
well, there's two specific people, and I'll probably cut
I
this
know
out of
one
the video.
specific
There are
person.
two specific people.
It's his shit.
I mean, just-
his
well,
why is
literally
his
one of the
phone?
ones you have
Did
it.
Kyle go to sleep?
He's up there probably whacking off.
Oh, he said he was gonna
God,
shower.
might as well
I gotta
turn
make
this
sure he
bitch off.
yeah.
What's the-
Sorry.
what's the next
that-
question?
Let's just say bye.
Oh, okay. The next
All
question. All right. Next question. All right. Cut. So, you're about my age. So you grew up without. We grew up without Instagram at first. It was like car forums online, like message boards. Yeah, message boards, magazines. Everybody wanted to either be in Super Street or like
Muscle
modified-
Mustang for me.
Muscle Mustang. Yeah.
5.0.
So, how do you feel social media has made things worse for the car community, and how it's actually made it pretty? It made it better. Made it
Okay,
better.
there's two things to this. It has made it worse because now everyone thinks they're entitled. It's made it better because it's easier to reach people
Yeah.
all over the world.
Yeah.
Back when I was growing up, if you got your goal with a car scene was to get your car in a magazine, it's your car in print was you made it.
Yeah.
Like when I was in Iraq, I had my 05 in Mustang Enthusiast and Muscle Mustang twice. So when I'm in Iraq, this was back in 2009. I got the magazine over there, and I'm like, "That's me! Like I made it.
Yeah.
I can die now."
Yeah.
And it got to the point where once Facebook came out with groups,
Mm-hmm.
and it's more instant. This was even before Instagram came in.
Yeah.
The whole waiting went away.
Messaging
Like,
for dying.
When Facebook groups came in, message forums just went
Yeah.
down
Yeah.
so hard fast.
I missed the forums.
SVT
Right.
Performance was like, I remember when you would, if guys were out racing, this was even back in 2011 or 12,
Yeah.
even
it wasn't-
2013.
Wasn't too far ago.
If you had two guys racing at an NMRA event, you're hitting refresh in that post you're looking at
Yeah.
because someone's gonna go in there real quick and say, this guy just won this fast. And you had people like constantly on there, and it was easier to police people. You had trolls, but everyone was a tighter group. They
Mhm.
cared about each other, and when they would have meets, everybody would actually go out and hang out. Nowadays, people have meets and people stand there like this the whole time.
Yeah.
So it's like you lose that. You definitely lost that concept. Now, quick story. Back in, I think it was late 2015, 16, Holly came out with their sheet metal manifold. It was not the high ram one, the regular
Sniper?
one. The Sniper, yeah.
Yeah.
Holly reached out to me and said, "We want to test this thing. Here you go." They never tested it on S550. They were just like, "It's not going to fit." I'm like, "We're going to make it fit." We teamed up with Staying TV, which was NXT magazine, and NXT Staying on Instagram,
Yeah.
and we did a whole article on it. It was test, installed, everything we needed to do it, and it was done in February. Now, when you do that stuff, you can't say a word about it. It is top secret. You can't say anything until the magazine is released. Well, on social media, you make posts on Facebook or even Instagram like,
Yeah.
"Hey, this was just installed," and people literally wanted our firstborn child because we wouldn't release it.
The
release the
magazines are
information.
like months.
Yeah, and it was the same concept. Like we did this in February. It didn't release until Mustang Week that year. So that's
Yeah.
6 months or so. I had to be quiet. Lund had to be quiet. Parlay had to be quiet. Holly had to be quiet because we can't talk about it because we had to wait for the magazine to release it, even though it was online. But that was the beginning when I realized that you can't wait on media, any type of content, racing. It has to be when it happens, right there and then. And if you don't do it there and then, forget about it. Instagram has created, it's literally Instagram has created this instant. Now. It's the Amazon mentality of I want it now, and if I don't have it now, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's just like in the companies. If you don't have this stock, I'm going to the next company.
Yeah.
There's no waiting anymore, and that's where social media has killed all industries because it's so now. There's no waiting anymore, and that's the downfall. Where forums, people would wait.
Mhm.
People were looking forward to it, or it's I can't wait to get the article because I want to read it.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is once your car is in a magazine, you get a call from in the news, and they want to put your whole thing on a plaque.
Yeah.
And it's $220, but that was worth every penny because your whole article is on a plaque that you can hang in your wall.
Yeah, and keep forever.
And that was like, I have 4 of those, and it's like, I still look at them and smile.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Facebook, like, or social media, especially in groups, because Facebook constantly wants new posts, even if it's the same thing, constant new, it's forgotten.
Yeah.
And something I did a year ago, I could repost it today, and people think it just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
I can see that.
But at the same time, it's good because there's so much more people on it that even though it's a year old, it's new to them, you can rekindle sales.
Yeah.
So it's such a double-edged sword.
It's interesting because like if I scroll back far enough on my profile, like there's one of the videos I posted, it got like 120,000 views. Like it was nuts. I don't know what the algorithm was doing back then, but it skyrocketed.
And it wasn't even like crazy.
It was just kind of a funny cut video,
Yeah.
and whatever it was, it got 120K views. And just generally what I've noticed is like the things have been going down.
Yeah,
Like-
Instagram just,
And it started, I think, when they took things out of chronology.
it was like,
Yes.
yeah,
That was
I
what,
mean-
like half a year ago.
that was like 17, late
Right.
16.
Yeah.
Good example, like I keep talking about her 1320 chick. She just she made a video post and she's like, hey, check this out. And I'm literally scrolling
Yeah.
and she just posted it
Yeah.
and I can't find it. So I literally would have to stop and go to that person's name.
It has
Yeah.
to be.
Find
It has
it.
to be a person
Yeah.
that you have that you look at a lot.
You have to
Yeah.
constantly.
You've been
interact
popping
with
up on mine because we've been tagging you so much.
Yeah.
it.
That now
It's an
you're
algorithm.
top. Like your stories are my like first. Like usually he's my first, but because we've been tagging you so much lately, it's like now it's like Steve's popping up everywhere. I'm like, okay, I like you, Steve, but
Well,
Yeah,
it's
like-
drop my feed.
No, I'm the same way. Like I'm
When you see
scrolling.
something
Like
else.
if I don't, in the way I am with scrolling, that I'll scroll, and if I see the same photo I looked at 20, 30 minutes ago,
Mhm.
I'm off.
Oh, yeah, I get
See,
off.
I've noticed that a lot.
Because then
on
I'm
it.
back at what I've looked at 20
Yeah.
minutes ago. I'm like,
Even though there's so much new stuff, you just don't see it.
yeah.
Do you remember? It was a year or so ago. There was another social media platform that was trying to get big, and everybody was promoting it.
I had it on.
Car.
Was it Vimeo or
Something.
Video? VV.
No.
There was a couple different ones.
I had it.
I did it for like,
People
a
were-
week. I did it for
yeah.
like a week.
I
I,
had
They were
it.
like,
Yeah.
oh, this shit's gonna be the instant.
It's gonna blow. And what? I don't know what the fuck it was.
I think it started with a V.
get flamed for
Did
this
you
one.
follow that VQ mommy girl?
No, I know who
Oh,
you're
she
talking about.
got
I heard
The
about
bags are for poor people or
Oh,
holes
coilovers
are for
for
poor
Oh, that chick, she got destroyed. But you know what? I hate to say this. She got so much media
She
and
did.
attention.
because of that.
From
What
that.
did, what did NWA say? Good. Any publicity is good publicity.
So I'm gonna post that up because I mean I don't have coilovers, but I could post up and be like
Springs are
coilovers.
for poor
Good
people.
God.
I'm fucking. Springs are for poor people. I'm freaking poverty now.
Right?
I got them white lines. They cost me $200.
Got my CJ Pony Springs.
Okay.
But it's like with GoFundMe though.
Hey,
it's
whose
like,
Bang Energy Jack is this?
That's mine. Do not,
Not
touch
yours.
it.
like someone
If you have to
Oh.
ask, it's not yours.
Damn.
Shit's gonna be gone in the morning.
No, it's
Fuck
not. I'm hiding
Bang.
it.
someone set up a GoFundMe when I
Fuck
got
and
hurt.
bang, yes. I
Oh, not the Bang shit?
Oh yeah, that's.
Huh?
That's like all
So-
over fucking Instagram. Everyone's
so
trying to
that-
get sponsorship. through-
There's so
from
much
Bang
stuff with
Energy.
Bang that it makes me not want to drink it.
Bang is trying to go after Monster, but all they're using is prostitutes and Insta hoes to get their attention.
Hey, one
No,
of
I
them is
just
really
drink
hot
because I
though.
like
I'm
it.
just gonna say.
Not even gonna lie. I
For people
drink
wondering,
it 'cause I like it.
prostitute is a new phrase, trademarked of mine.
Right.
Prostitute?
Prostitute.
Prostitute. Prostitute?
It could be a thought.
Institute.
Insta
It's almost fucking midnight.
Insta hoe.
Dude,
None
we're
of
gonna
y'all
have a
have-
bad
All
time.
right, so we're gonna close out this video.
Sorry, we've totally been rambling.
Yeah. Well,
But I don't
I'll have to go.
want, you know, just to say, I don't want to feel like I'm just bitching and complaining.
There's nothing wrong with
To
that.
end this
bro.
on a good note,
That's what people want to know.
Yeah, exactly. There's so much like.
It's not like we.
I
came
don't
up
want to
with-
say there's just too much positivity on like public social media. There is a bad side to like a lot of shit. Like there's a lot of irritating ass shit that goes on, and people need to understand like how to approach people. I think social media has really screwed up a new generation to where.
let me say this. When it comes to social media, it can be a phenomenal platform that works fantastic if it's done right.
It spreads
I think
media
I-
everywhere.
I think I've done it right. I think you've done it right. I think I've done it right. I'm just saying.
No,
I think I have.
if you do it right, it's you are respected, you're liked, other companies will want to work with you.
But that's why I can, like I said, I'm not affiliated with some of these companies, but I can walk right up to them at Mustang. We can, what's up, bro? How are you? You know, I don't
Yeah.
have your product. I don't
Yeah.
represent your product, but I'm just friends with
Yeah.
you.
There's
And I
a-
have
there's a
people,
difference
big name
with
people that can.
And that's the thing.
I'm sure you vouch for me if I needed. You
that.
have was
Absolutely,
one.
yeah.
Before
Has was one.
Instagram, I was posting photos on car forums all the fucking time. That's how I got started working with a magazine in the mid 2000s.
Yeah, she never got
If
me
you
to.
do the right thing,
What?
What?
Oh, well,
I do what?
neither did I.
Well, what the hell?
if you it's not even marketing, it's branding.
Mm.
Marketing is awesome, but branding is what sells. Branding yourself to a point where companies will work with you and continue to work with you will pay off because then it's a reference, then you can continue.
It's
And-
just about being a good fucking person.
And if just say a new platform comes out, the next 2020 Mustang comes out, and they got everything ready to go, and because you did so good on the 15 through 20, 19 body style,
Yeah.
guess what? You're their first phone call.
Yeah.
And it's not because
We're
there's
kind of on the back burner. We're still on.
Yeah.
15s to 17s
We're
are on
like-
the back burner now.
Hey,
Yeah,
guys,
I will
we're
through
the
this,
best.
Fox body.
Yeah.
No, I hate
We're
to
the
say it,
bastard child.
you know what? I'm gonna say this right now, and I've talked about this with a bunch of people. I don't buy new Mustangs because I just need to have the latest and greatest. I buy them because we need to market them. We need to brand it. We need to companies want to work with that.
That's different.
The
As
newer-
consumers, though.
Yeah, the newer Mustangs as companies, you are better and more likely to get more support
Yeah.
if you get the latest chassis.
And that's the thing. We started right when that's what. Well, I
I
think.
got mine in 2014.
You were one of the first people.
Yeah.
First
I mean,
one.
October
both of-
2014.
Yeah, both of y'all were
boosted.
one of the first people because I remember when you bought yours.
Yeah,
I
you were
was
the first
there.
person I saw it back.
Someone I don't remember who I talked to, but they were like,
May of
"You should
15
market your
bags of
account
boost.
for this car." And if you scroll back far enough on my account, you'll just see I just posted random bullshit. My Focus ST, my 05 GT,
Yep, same marine
And it was
stuff. Like
dead.
shit.
Yeah.
And then when I got that
20
550, they were
followers.
like, "Oh, you should start actually hashtagging correctly so people can find you." And I did. And then it just started gaining and gaining because I think maybe it was like maybe 4 other guys.
Man, I tell you who, I'll shout out the 2 people that taught me how to Instagram.
Yeah.
And that was Victor Lay and Ben Berman. Victor Lay is
I know-
RTR
I know
S550.
him,
Okay.
yeah.
He's got the white EcoBoost, or the white camo EcoBoost.
Okay.
And Ben Berman had a black Roush boosted Mustang. It was a GT, and then he wrapped it OD green, and then he got rid of it. But those were the 2 people.
Oh, wait. Was it a SEMA car one year? The first?
No, they both lived in DC when I lived in DC.
Okay.
But they had 30+ thousand followers back when
That
Instagram
EcoBoost was the IBOC, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yes.
I
And
remember
Robo
that.
was
I remember
doing
that
stuff.
one,
And
yeah.
Ben's car was on Ford Stars. It
Yeah.
had a Roush blower. And I asked him, I said, "Man, what does it take to fucking get big on Instagram?" Because I had the car. I had the
Yeah.
Whipple bag.
Now remind people, this was years ago. Algorithms
This was
have changed.
2016.
Yeah.
Algorithms have
Oh,
changed.
yeah, it's changed a
And what
lot.
it was, and I've told people this is, I said, this is how, even today, this is how I started it out. When I asked and I learned, I sat down with them over drinks at a bar. I asked them, I said, "How'd you do it?" It was post 3 times a day. Ben was waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning to post, but post 3 times a day, one time between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. Why? Because people are on their way to work. They wake up in the morning, they lay in bed, they scroll social media, they see your post. You post again at noon, anywhere from 11 to 2. Because what are people
Lunchtime.
doing at lunch at work? Or whatever, at school, they're at lunch, doing whatever, scrolling. Then the next time is between 5 and 9.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because people are getting off work,
Later
people are
the
sitting
better,
at
too.
dinner, people are sitting at dinner with their friends,
Yeah.
doing whatever, and they're laying in bed. And you have to use 20 or tag 20 people and use all your hashtags.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, and start taking quality photos. The only reason why I own a fucking DSLR camera is because of what they said. I went out and bought a T5i Canon, and that's why. And I was posting 3 times a day and tagging as many people. And I went from 9,000 followers at Mustang Week to 15,000 before the end of the year.
I gave it a shot.
That's all. Remember too.
And George,
I mean,
and
you are friends with
13,000 followers.
I mean, that was a
That's
big
enough.
thing though, because we didn't have stories. We didn't
No,
have any
none
of that. So
Every-
it was,
videos
it
are
was
15
all-
it
seconds.
was
post.
shout outs. I remember when me and him started dating.
Shout
I had
outs were the
like
only way to do
I had
it.
like 2
Yeah.
to 3,000 followers, and he was at like
10?
no
Yeah,
me. I was at
Instagram
like
was
2 to
just
3.
a
You were at
picture
like
post.
12 to
Yeah,
15.
Yeah, but there was no video.
Hell,
at the beginning.
hashtags didn't even work with it at first.
Yeah.
But that's how, like, when people ask nowadays, I'm like, this is how you need to start.
Yeah.
You have to
But
start
it's-
posting
and
3
it's
times
so
a day.
crazy.
A lot of that shit doesn't apply though today.
It doesn't,
Yeah.
not
The
anymore.
hashtags,
Because-
they figure out the hashtag, like the algorithms where if you use the same hashtags, it limits views. If you tag the same people, it kills the views.
Yeah.
If you don't have a word enough text, it kills the views.
See, and
Because I mean, back
I
when
don't
I had
even
my
pay
eco
attention.
boost,
You know what I
because
do now?
it's
I
got to
just,
be too much work.
I just stick to what I've been doing.
That's
If
what I
people
do.
don't want to look
Yeah.
at,
I
fine.
have
You
it
don't have to follow my
copied and
shit.
pasted in my notes.
Yeah.
I tag the same
when I
hashtag.
had my eco boost from 2015 to 2017, that was like my all-time high. Like a boring ass eco boost. I finally wrapped it. That was about the coolest thing, and everyone's like, "Wow, I love your wrap." I got my GT and it spiked for a second, right? Because
You
she's
change
got
it.
something new,
Spurts.
something bright, something blue,
Yeah.
something faster. And now it's just
Yeah, it's just plateaued.
When I
It's
put
like,
Yeah.
when I put the Edelbrock in mine just like.
Yeah.
and then,
That's 'cause
okay, so
it's
there was
new.
another spike for me when I
It's new.
went
Well, the Shelby
boosted.
stuff, G500 stuff right now is in.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as a photo comes out, even though it's everywhere, and this is my pro tip, even though the photo's everywhere, post it. Because right now, the search feature on Instagram or any social media is GT500 for the Mustang world. It is like, I don't care about every color. I don't. But I'm going to post it because it brings, like, when that 500 photo got leaked, and I posted up, I was one of the first people to post it, and that was the most liked,
Yeah.
shared, saved photo I've ever made.
See, but like for me, I know on my account, I try to keep mine pretty vanilla, and I know that probably hurts my account. But like,
yeah, same.
when if someone says they've been following me since the beginning, they come to my account for a specific reason. And if I start doing ads, and like whenever I've tried to do
shouting
ads,
out people.
yeah, when I
Never
try,
shout out, you just list it.
yeah,
Never say shout out to, just like
I'll do a
you
story.
like Alex is a badass Mustang. What do you think? That's the thing. Actually, I'll start with that. They love questions.
Questions, yeah. You
Questions
want people
are
interact in
in.
the comments.
I've tried
And
that
you
though,
have
and
to
it doesn't.
it's
respond.
got to be the right.
You
question.
Yeah.
have to
I've
respond.
tried the question thing. I've tried the quote thing. I've tried the
quotes
the
are
random
garbage.
question like, oh, what do you guys like to do on your day off? Like you see all those, right? And I've
it's-
tried every one, and now I'm just to the point where I'm just
Go.
like,
I agree with
I don't
him,
post for days.
but
I
then
don't care.
on the flip side,
I don't know where it came from.
What's that?
Comments been
I got a
deleted.
comment that was deleted. I don't know where it came from. I guess I commented something mean or something.
I get
Oh,
my videos
wait.
get deleted all the time.
This
for
kid.
wrestling.
Who?
Oh,
We'll cut it
there we
out.
go.
Was it in Segan?
No, it was the
Oh.
comment that I left to that kid on Forrest's account, the YouTuber.
Oh.
But the questions they want to ask is, it's just like, okay, we'll bring in 500 again. Would you want an orange one or a blue one?
Right.
And people eat that crap up
yeah.
because they actually.
But
think
you're
they're-
posting up a
the-
different
the-
car than your own.
Yes,
The only
it's
way-
because
So-
if it's you
But I
post
mean,
the
it's like-
500. Well, so
I
is
don't-
mine.
I
I
try to
look at
keep
my
it
page,
pretty.
and
Yeah.
mine's all my car, and then sometimes I'll see another Mustang I like,
But
and I'll post it. Or
you
like
know
the
when I
Celine
spike-
F-150 I posted. That was the second most liked photo I've ever posted on my page.
You know when I spike, which is really shitty, when I post a cell phone photo of his car parked in my work.
And you know what's funny about that is
Like-
a lot of my friends have told me lately. My friend Gary Bowen, he lives up by me. He's got a huge following too.
Yeah,
He was saying that his most liked photo is a cell phone picture.
that's
it
that's been
happens.
ours.
Yeah.
He took a photo of me
Yeah, let's see it.
by his car at night. And it was a cell phone, and I was just standing by his car, and it just had the lights on. That photo had about 5,000 likes and got spread through all the Instagram pages, Facebook
Yeah.
pages. It kept coming up after a couple of months, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like
Yeah.
it's
Cell phone picture, 1,100 likes.
yeah.
Let me see real quick.
But then he will take a wonderful photo of my car, edit it, it'll look
100
beautiful,
likes.
and it's like 200 likes. I'm like, are you kidding?
It's food bar.
Boys,
Let's
it's
close out.
12:05.
Yeah, let's close out this video. Wait, not yet. If people want to follow you, what are your social media accounts?
Steve Gellis on Facebook, but honestly, I keep my thing kind of private. But on Instagram, it's LTH__Steve.
Two
Two
underscores.
underscores.
Or just type in LTH, you'll either see my company or me.
Yeah. Alex.
Alex J Devil Dog _S550 on Instagram, and other than that, that's about it.
Yeah.
I don't really want you to follow me on Facebook.
We got Soul
Check out
Cat ST over
Slow
here.
Cat ST.
And then check out Long Tube Headers as
Yeah.
well on social
Alright.
media, on Facebook and Instagram.
KBB detailing over there on the couch.
Yeah. So I don't know. I might do more of these. We might have random people come in. We might talk about things. So yeah, I might do more of them.
Podcast is where it's at.
Yeah, I've been another thing I've been wanting to do is a video conference podcast because I used to do them for the gaming stuff way back when.
Yeah, don't crit me.
Yeah, we had a gaming blog and it was pretty popular. We had like 7,000 people. We would do podcasts every week. I was thinking about doing a podcast, getting some people in the Mustang industry, doing like Google Hangouts or like Skype, getting everybody on.
Yeah, I think like Barstool, something like that on Insta, like
Yeah.
there are 3 or 4 guys that run it, and they're on opposite ends of the country.
Yeah.
and they podcast every week.
Barstools.
Yeah, they have some
Tasteless gentlemen.
Yeah.
Some
Oh,
issues.
tasteless gentleman.
I think the Mustang, if it's me or somebody else that does it, I think everyone would kind of benefit from it.
I'm down
If
100%.
if someone organized something like that, to where even if it was like 45, because about 45 minutes to an hour, have a few set topics. Either it's something that's like currently going on in the community, or new products, or whatever it is. Having a set panel of people, whether it be notables on Instagram or YouTube or whatever it is.
What? Like for me, like podcasts, I've noticed that the easiest time to listen to podcasts is just on your way to work.
I do it in the morning, yeah.
Or
A lot
you
of
driving
on your way,
home,
yeah,
or
on your way
just-
in the car or at work.
Or sometimes I'll have it playing while I'm at work, just in the background.
So that's the thing. I like listen to gaming podcasts on the way to work, but there's no like I don't like typical car podcasts. But if there was something specific for like our community, I would fucking listen to it. So
Listen to Steve rant. It goes,
yeah.
it goes well.
So we'll see if we do that. But thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys later. Bye.